Welcome, lads. When I was younger, I watched so many movies and saw so many characters that I looked up to, like Jordan Belfort from The Wolf of Wall Street, out there living his awesome lifestyle. Captain America, beating up bad guys with nothing but a shield and his fists. And I didn't understand how to get to that point. And the more I thought about what do these guys have that I don't and that I want to embody in my own life, and the answer was they all had different elements of danger. And I thought, how can I understand what makes them dangerous, understand what makes them that man, and embody it in my own life? And there's three different elements to it, which I want to briefly explain to you now. And when I started embodying these three elements in my life, it only changed for the better. And I went from this skinny, weak kid who could not handle himself to the guy I am today. So, first element of what makes a dangerous man. It all starts mental. Everything we do in our life starts from the mental place. And a man who is dangerous mentally is someone who is able to think clearly under pressure. We're all going to go through these bits in our life where it feels like everything is falling apart, regardless of where we are. Maybe we've had a tough day at school. Maybe we've built a massive company and we thought everything's good now, but suddenly the money goes away, problems happen, and our life begins to fall apart. In those moments, the person who we want to be is the person who can still think clearly. And they're going into those situations thinking about solutions. They're not going in there thinking about panic, thinking about, oh my goodness, everything's falling apart, I'm screwed now. And our mental is what's going to really shape everything that happens in our life. Because someone who's mentally strong and mentally dangerous is someone who can do their work and take the steps regardless of what's happening, regardless of how they're feeling. Because all of us have those times where we're feeling super motivated and we're feeling like we're truly on top of the world and we can do anything, we can make anything happen, we can be a superhero, we can be the next Wolf of Wall Street. But what about the times where we're not feeling so great, where we're not feeling that fire blood running through us? That's where we come back in our discipline. And someone who is very disciplined and someone who has that ability to push through when they don't feel like it, that's the person who's going to get the results. And I learned that when I built my first affiliate marketing agency and I got my first big break and saw some real money coming through. That was the only time in my life where I've gone for 6 months, not drinking, not touching any substances, not doom scrolling, just sheer unfocused work and discipline. And I remember before I'd make the video some days for it, I'd feel like crying with frustration because it all just felt so pointless. But I've forced myself through that anyway. And then once I got those videos done, once I got the content out there, everything felt fantastic, everything felt good again. And that wasn't just a 1 day or 2 day thing. That was my whole life for 6 months, going through this continuous cycle of failure and not giving up and continuing, even though 80% of the time I really didn't feel like doing it. And there are so many ways that just our mental danger is going to shape the rest of our physical reality. And one of the biggest ways in that is a confidence. What we need to be doing when we're going to this idea of being a dangerous man is we're doing it for ourselves. We're doing it to prove to ourselves that we are a dangerous man. Don't go in with a mindset thinking, okay, what can I do to make other people perceive me as dangerous? What can you do to make yourself perceive yourself as dangerous, to be a man that you know you can rely on? Because when we get that down pat and when we wake up in the morning and we're feeling confident and we're thinking to ourselves, I am that dangerous man, that is going to show through more than just our mental. It's going to show in the way we walk, and the way we talk, and the way we carry ourselves. And if we truly perceive ourselves that way, that is the way other people are going to perceive us because it's going to come through subconsciously. So we get our mental down and that's already going to transform our life. The second thing we need to do is actually really focus on the physical as well to try and make this as quick as possible. If we build a strong, capable body, something that we're proud of, we get jacked, we learn how to fight, that is also going to come through in our confidence, in our presence, and in the danger that we represent to other people. When you go in and you start training, whether it be the gym, whether it be a kickboxing session, in my personal opinion, you should be doing both. You should be doing weightlifting and you should be training martial arts. That's how you become a very well-rounded man, both through the physique and that ability to fight. That's incredibly important when we come into handling ourselves in dangerous situations, because we need to know that we are able to handle ourselves if something goes down. This is not to say we should look for trouble. We should absolutely not go out into the world and start trying to find conflicts to insert ourselves into. It's just that if someone else creates a conflict and we are in a position where there is absolutely no other way to get out of it apart from physical defense and looking after ourselves that way, we need to know we have that ability and not second guess ourselves in that situation. And I don't want to talk about training a lot because I think it's really, really simple. It's simple, but it's difficult because of the pain involved. But when you go train, regardless of how you're feeling, you need to go into your session and decide that you're going to train hard. You're going to train like your life depends on it every single session, regardless of how you feel that day. A mental trick that I learned recently, if you really struggle to bring the fire when you're going into the gym to try and train, is before you start that workout, think about your suffering as clearly as possible beforehand. Think about doing that 12th rep on a leg press and how much it's going to burn and how much you want to give up. And then picture yourself pushing through that anyway. Picture yourself pushing through that pain and finishing the workout and how good you're going to feel afterwards. Because a lot of the suffering we have in our life, most of it is purely mental, and we suffer a lot more thinking about things than we do actually doing it. So when you're in your workout, just think about that set that you're doing. Just think about that next rep. You don't need to worry about the next 4 exercises after. It's going to feel much bigger and worse than it is. Just think about that next rep, giving it all you've got, and continue on. And then by the end of it, you've got a full workout in. You've been pushing hard every set, and you've leveled up immensely, as opposed to the man who just goes in, gets his reps done, and calls it a day there. The third pillar of being a dangerous man, and the one that really ties it all together and makes it all a lot more fun, comes down to finance. We've got our mind right, we've got our body right, but we want to get some cash going in so we can go out and live the life that we want. And we're not going to get our money because we just want cash, we want to buy things. We want money because money is the absolute base for freedom in the world. Any form of freedom you want is going to stem from having money and being able to control your situation, do what you want, buy what you want, be with who you want, etc. And so thinking about it purely from a freedom point of view, we're trying to build an income stream which gives us location freedom. And there's so many good hustles out there. There's so many good businesses you can build online which give you that location freedom and that you can do completely from your laptop. Everything that I do now, I do completely from my laptop, and that's why I'm here in Bangkok now as opposed to being in Australia, because this is the life that I want to live. So I found a way to make that happen. If I'm making YouTube videos, I can do it all from my laptop and using my camera. If I'm doing my affiliate marketing, again, it's all from my laptop. It's quite a simple system. And the beauty of having your own thing, as opposed to going and being a freelancer or working for a company and going to the office, is you no longer have to answer to anyone. You're only answering to yourself, and you can do whatever you want in your day. Now, there is a danger to that. If you go into this and you only chase the financial aspect, but you don't have that mental danger to back it up, you're going to find yourself slacking off and the income's going to slow down. And at that point, you're better off just getting a job so you've got that guaranteed income. So that's what I was saying before. You need all 3 elements to tie in to become a dangerous man, really trust yourself, and then change the life around you. And I think for a lot of us, or for me at least, we've all seen these characters that we really admire and that we want to live our life like. And if we have these 3 things in line, if we've got our mind right, we've got our body right, and we've got our money up, we can become anyone we want to be, because that's the base that we need. And then we just tweak it to whatever direction we want to be in. If you want to be like Captain America, beautiful, you can now go do that. If you want to be the next Wolf of Wall Street, if you've got these 3 pillars, you can absolutely go do that. So in my opinion, this is the base for anything we want in our life. And if you just get these 3 down, the sky's the limit and you can do whatever you want. So I hope you enjoyed that, boys. Hope you got some value. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel, still uploading daily, still pumping it out for you lads. So as always, boys, I will see you in the next video.